Good evening, and welcome to the Pennsylvania Keystone Chapter Annual Meeting. My name is Pam Dixon, and I am the Director of Education and Outreach. Tonight, we are holding 4 simultaneous annual meeting celebrations across the chapter. We would like to give a shout out and welcome the following locations: Erie, Harrisburg, Pittsburgh, and Scranton. We wanted to create a format that we could connect everyone together and share the same message across the chapter. Tonight, you will hear from our chapter president, Ann Majerus, who will highlight the places she has visited over the past year in an effort to get to know key leaders throughout our 56 counties. After our president's message, Board Chair William Schrader will echo the words of Curly from City Slickers about the one thing or the one more thing that each of us can do to help each other meet and beat the challenges of MS. Following Ann and Bill's presentation, your host will move into the business portion of the meeting. During this time, you will have the opportunity to hear about the state of the chapter. Our program will continue with a presentation from Dr. Rock Hyman of the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center with research directions in MS that have led to major advances in our understanding of this complex disease. Your host will guide you through the rest of the evening with a special session with your keynote speaker. We will conclude with a Q&A session with local neurologists and healthcare specialists who have a long history of providing care to the MS community. I would now like to turn the podium over to our chapter president, Ann Majerus.
I am so pleased to kick off the 2015 annual meeting. As Pam mentioned, my name is Ann, and I'm the chapter president of the Pennsylvania Keystone chapter of the National MS Society. As you know, last October, the Central Pennsylvania chapter and the Western Pennsylvania chapter came together to form the PA Keystone chapter, encompassing 56 counties in PA and serving over 16,000 persons living with MS. I have spent this past year on a journey to connect with as many chapter members living with MS, event participants, donors, and volunteers as time and travel allowed. I started my tour of most of PA last fall in the Scranton area and connected with self-help group leaders, members of the Northeast Walk MS Committee, and a chapter board member. I also made a stop in Bloomsburg to check out the fall foliage and the town park where the MS Walk is held. During the holidays, in all corners of the chapter, we work together on the Holiday Gift Giving Program. This gift program brings together volunteers to purchase, wrap, and deliver gifts to persons with MS who reside in nursing homes, and to bring toys and goodies to families in our communities living with MS. In the winter months, I was able to travel to Erie and attend the Mardi Gras theme event, MS-Garade, as well as make a visit to the Penn State Hershey MS Center to meet with partners in MS care. Spring was walk season, and I enjoyed the enthusiasm of spring with walkers in Pittsburgh and the Adam Ritchie Park in Enola, PA. I'm happy to report that most of our 23 walks occurred in the sunshine this past spring. Summer kicked off the chapter's What a Difference a Day Makes program, where volunteers, chapter staff, and board members completed home enhancement projects in Erie, Pittsburgh, Hershey, Lancaster, and the Harrisburg area. In August, I attended the George F. Hempt Memorial Polo Match and enjoyed a Roots Music Festival for MS in Pittsburgh. I visited Gettysburg, PA for the first time in my life during the Bike MS Mason-Dixon Challenge to enjoy a little Civil War history and engage with cyclists, top fundraisers, and volunteers. We held 3 other Bike MS rides throughout the chapter area, one that finished on Lake Erie, one that overnighted in State College, and one that traveled along the Clarion River in Cook's Forest. Winding down the summer and entering into fall, we brought together couples living with MS in Hershey for an evening of lessons in love. Women on the Move came together for luncheon events in State College, Hershey, and Pittsburgh to support the chapter, and we ended the year with Lobster Fest for MS in Altoona. Wow, no wonder I'm tired at the end of the week. However, I wake up each day energized to work together with you to reach the end of the journey when people with MS can lead their best lives as we stop MS in its tracks, restore what has been lost, and end MS forever. Now it is my pleasure to introduce to you William Schrader, Chair of the PA Keystone Board of Trustees. Bill would like to share with you his vision called Plus One, which he hopes will engage each one of you on the journey with us to end MS forever and create a world free of MS.
Thank you, Ann. Before I jump into Plus One, let me just say, wow, what a year it has been. As Ann said, our first as the PA Keystone chapter. It wasn't perfect, but we made great progress throughout the year. And I think I can speak for the staff and the entire Board of Trustees when I say we really are looking forward to year number 2. Let's spend just a minute on staff. We lost a couple folks this past year that we were sorry to see go, but we also were able to add a few team members that we are very happy to have. I think you'll hear more about that later. You heard about how busy Ann's year was. So just imagine 30 staff members keeping those same kinds of schedules, making events happen, delivering on services to persons living with MS, and working day in and day out to deliver on our mission. Will you join me in giving all of our staff members a big round of applause? Now, let's talk about Plus One. I want to preface the conversation by telling you that I stole this idea from my employer. But the concept works, whether you are in the private sector or the public sector. Basically, over the past year, I've challenged both the Board of Trustees and the chapter staff to approach what they do daily for the MS Society with a Plus One mentality. In simple terms, what one more thing can I do today, this week, this month, to advance the cause? Can I send one more fundraising email, make one more call to a major donor, or recruit one more event volunteer? Can I help solve one more problem for someone living with MS? This program, as simple as it is working to build a better chapter. At each board meeting, we are setting aside time to acknowledge and celebrate Plus One, achievements by both staff and trustees. There are far too many to mention, but everyone is getting into the act. It is simple, really. One more email, phone call, letter, pat on the back. You get the idea. Now we need to take the program to the next level. Take it to the people, they say. First, a challenge to all the doctors in the audience. One more patient, one more lab test, one more call to share research information. Take Plus One back to your labs, your offices, your researchers, and your colleagues. Let's find a way to end MS. And finally, everyone else in the room, people living with MS and those affected by MS, including caregivers, you already do so much, but we're not asking for heroics. It could be one more lap in the pool, one more deep breath to gather a bit of patience. Maybe you can attend one more support group meeting to help just one more newly diagnosed patient. It is all about Plus One. It has made a difference and will continue to make a difference in our chapter. Thank you for all you do to bring us closer to a cure or to support someone living with MS. Now I would like to turn the podium over to our local host to give a State of the Chapter address, which includes the Treasurer's Report and the elections for the 2016 board slate. Following the State of the Chapter address, you will then hear the research update by Dr. Hyman and then a presentation from your keynote speaker.
Hi, my name is Ryan Ori. I'm the physician assistant at the Pittsburgh Institute of Multiple Sclerosis Care and Research. Today I'll be presenting the research update for the 2015 Keystone Chapter Annual Meeting. When it comes to the immune system of multiple sclerosis, we know a good bit, but not all of it is completely understood. We know that there are lymphatic vessels in the rest of our body that connect to lymph nodes, which are storage centers for immune function. However, more recently, Dr. Kipnis and colleagues discovered that this year that these vessels do exist in mice and in people in the brain. Better understanding of this system may allow better understanding of how MS starts and how best to treat it. Some research has suggested that higher salt intake may increase immune activity in the brain and spinal cord of people with MS. However, the salt intake in children prior to the diagnosis of MS was not different from those not getting MS. An additional study suggested that consumption of foods high in omega-3 fatty acids from fish, not plant-based, lowered the risk of a first clinical MS-like attack. Another study looking at 144 people taking the oral antibiotic minocycline showed that it could decrease the risk of clinically definite multiple sclerosis by 44.6%. It also showed a reduction in relapse rate and brain atrophy. It has been documented that smoking cigarettes increases the risk of getting MS and also the risk of MS becoming progressive. A new study shows that quitting smoking after a diagnosis of MS decreases the rate of disability progression. Median age of becoming secondary progressive type MS was 56 in those who quit versus 48 in those who continued to smoke. A small study of 86 people with optic neuritis, a common MS attack, suggested that the seizure medication phenytoin could protect against nerve damage in the retina. This treatment lasted for approximately 3 months, and it was supported by a 30% reduction in retinal nerve fiber layer thinning. A small 48-week study suggested concentrated biotin, a type of B vitamin, may improve disability in 12.6% of people with progressive MS. The phase 3 study of fingolimod or Gilenya unfortunately did not show statistical significance in terms of benefit for progressive MS. Another study of spinal fluid from 386 people with MS suggested that immune cells appear to be embedded in the brain and spinal cord in regions of patients with progressive multiple sclerosis. Compared relapse or remitting MS, where these cells appeared to be more active in the blood and lymphatic system. Successful phase 3 trials of the medication ocrelizumab for relapsing, remitting, and primary progressive MS were announced. This is a medication given by vein or IV twice per year. This is the first successful trial of any agent for primary progressive MS. It looked at 732 patients, and disability worsening slowed by 24%. This drug also decreased risk of attack, disability, and new brain MRI lesions when compared to interferon beta shots. FDA application is soon to be submitted. A phase 2 trial of anti-LINGO, which is felt to trigger myelin repair, was completed in patients with a first episode of optic neuritis. This was given IV every 4 weeks for a total of 20 weeks in 82 people. Faster nerve conduction was found compared to placebo injection. Visual function differences were not significant. An ongoing phase 2 study for anti-LINGO for relapse or remitting MS is underway. There are some other repair studies currently ongoing. Some of these agents include Rh-IgM22, sabizabulin, a type of thyroid hormone, ABT555, and stem cells, among others. A study of people given their own mesenchymal stem cells by IV infusion has been completed. Sophisticated MRI measures suggest that measures of nerve cell or axon loss have been stabilized. This hints that this treatment might have stimulated repair and/or provided some nerve protection. The National MS Society is the largest private funder of MS research in the world. We have invested more than $900 million since our founding, and have had more than 800 new MS researchers recruited to the field. We are recognized as the catalyst for all major advances in MS, including nerve and myelin repair research. We are collaborative leaders in the International Progressive MS Alliance.